If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. We could all be so gentle, or be more gentle. We could all be more gentle. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is June the 20th, 2023, and again, the topic is we could all be more gentle in my Lauryn Hill voice. Yeah, we could all be more gentle. Happy Tuesday, y'all. I hope that you all had a magnificent Monday. Mine was just fine. Shout out to those of you all that are showing love on social media for my announcement. Podcast people, I feel like y'all have been left out. So in the event that you did not get a chance to go and check out the Juice Live online and get the different behind the scenes announcements and whatnot. Long story short, I have launched a new brand. I know y'all are like, what is this girl doing? Hey, y'all, it ain't me. It's the Lord, y'all. It's the Lord that is allowing my different goals and dreams and visions and all this type of stuff to come into fruition. And at the end of the day, I believe that he gave them to me anyway. So, hey, to God be the glory. Yes, I have a new brand that has been launched over the weekend. Long story short, to my podcast people, it was launched alongside of the new show that I created and performed on Saturday. And the brand is a shoe brand. Your girl's out here designing sneaker wedges right now. We're going to see what the Lord do with everything. But right now, I have released 2 designs. One is called Black Girl Magic, which is a design that I created like years ago. A limited edition design, by the way. So you can only get it from your girl. So that's one thing. And then the second design is actually a design that I created recently, and I made it for the show because those of the people that have been following me on social media and whatnot, y'all know that I was blessed with an opportunity to create a show, and it was sneaker ball themed. And so I created a shoe for the show because the mystery involves the shoe going missing, and I wanted it to be a very nice shoe, obviously, because if somebody's going to steal it, it need to be real nice. And the Lord reminded me that I could create it in the midst of my brainstorming session, and so that ultimately launched the brand. So to God be the glory again for all things, and I just wanted to, give a shout out to those that have been supporting online in regards to your comments, your shares, all that different type of stuff is greatly appreciated. Podcast people, if you guys want to go to lilfoot.com, because yes, the the brand is called Lilfoot. I have videos out there that explains all this stuff, but it's LILFUT.com. You guys can go there and check out the brand, y'all. So yes. Yeah, Monday, man. The main thing I did yesterday, I ended up recording an episode of the GSL Talk Show. Had another amazing conversation with someone that is not only around the corner, but technically she currently lives in my in the same area where my family lives. And I was like, girl, are we cousins? You never know, man. You just never know. So had an amazing conversation. She's a doctor, and she's created an amazing business that is all about like translating languages between patients and doctors and all this type of amazing stuff. So y'all could be on the lookout for that conversation coming out in the near future. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then outside of that, man, I try to catch up on rest because like I was telling my husband last night, y'all, well, first of all, like I told you all the past few days, NJ has really been like all about either being right under me or being around me and then playing, and then I'm trying to nap and he's like trying to jump on the bed, like all these little extra things right now where I'm like, I have to really just lock myself away to actually get rest sometimes. And I kind of did that on Sunday. I locked myself away, but I wasn't resting because that's how it be sometimes. I ended up just kind of working. I was editing videos. I was sharing about the shoes. I was doing everything else. So by the time I finished recording the juice as well as GSL, and then I ate something and I took a shower because I had on makeup, all this type of stuff. I was wanting to catch up on rest. I was like, I need to rest. So I was trying to take a nap, and that was a whole thing because, again, I had left the door open, and here come NJ waking me up not every 5 minutes, but anyway, so yeah, that was that. And then after that, I mean, that's the main stuff. I mean, I had some conversations and whatnot, some check-ins and stuff that I usually do on Monday. But outside of that, that's what my Monday looked like. So anywho, let's get into this conversation, y'all. We could all be more gentle. It's so true. I would say that today's conversation is inspired by the prayer meditation that I listened to on the Soul Space app this morning. It was all about gentleness and whatnot. And I know at some point as I was listening to it, it was like, oh, because, observe the world and da-da-da-da-da. And it was talking about all of that, and basically saying that, basically we could see where gentleness is needed in the world, or it asked me the question, do I think that gentleness is more needed in the world? And I just kind of laughed at that question because I was like, really? I mean, of course. I mean, we can see all around us where gentleness is more necessary. I know me and the doctor was talking yesterday, and we were talking about like mental health and all these different things that are playing such a big factor in our lives these days, where you just never know what a little gentleness and kindness can do. And again, the prayer meditation was having me to reflect on that the Bible tells us happy are the gentle, and everything like that. And I don't know if it was just confirmation for me in some ways, because I've told y'all how I've struggled with this whole thing, because people have been telling me I'm too nice, too kind, too this, too that, and you're naive because you're too this and too that. But whatever happens throughout my life, I still have the inclination to stay doing things according to the way that the Bible tells us, in regards to not, reacting to my first thoughts all the time. And I was talking to my husband about this either last week or at some point we were talking, and I was just like, here's the thing with me. I know that, okay, there may be some areas where I can be a little bit more direct when it comes to, like, how I feel or this, that, and the other. But a lot of times in the midst of situations, if I'm in the midst of a situation that's truly either making me upset or bothering me or something like that, the stuff that be in my head, don't be, how can I say? It's like, it's probably not the best thing for me to say. So in those moments, I usually say nothing because that's better for me, and I feel like that's wisdom. I feel like the Bible tells us to do that. It's like, be slow to, to answer or something. I'm mixing it up. I might be jumbling up the verses or whatever, but it tells us to, not be so quick to, fly off the handle or things of that nature and stuff. And, so, I mean, I guess this is the way that I've coped throughout the years, right, with being upset and things like that. Not to say I don't ever get upset and that I'm just always happier, in X, Y, and Z and everything. But still, there is a peace, right, that you get from, turning away wrath with gentle responses. Again, letting God take care of the vengeance. I told y'all recently about, a situation that made me very upset over the past few months, and the Lord turned it all around and worked out in my favor. It might not have worked out the way I wanted it to. I would have liked it to have a different outcome personally, but it still worked out in my favor, so much so where I had to be like, Lord, I know you did that, because if I had did what was in my head instead of listening to you, it wouldn't have turned out in my favor. And so This is just, I guess, a little nice reminder that we could all be more gentle, right? We could all be more gentle. There's room of improvement for this across the board. I'm not just trying to point the finger and be like, so yeah, y'all be like me, okay? No, I'm saying that. I mean, I'm sure there's areas that I could be even more gentle and whatnot. So let's get into some of these verses, y'all. So, well, no. Let me look at, I wrote down the definition, so let me share that. So the definition of gentle says having or showing a mild, kind, or tender temperament or character. And then the second definition says moderate in action, effect, or degree. And then it says not harsh or severe. Now, aside from when I read mild, start thinking about mild wings. Am I the only one? Aside from thinking about mild wings, I mean, I think that definition is a great example. Sorry, I got alarms that reminds me I need to wake up my husband. Hopefully he hears me doing the juice and he's waking up. But anywho, yes, aside from me, reflecting on these definitions, and everything like that, I mean, this is what it means to be gentle. And I found it very interesting that, reflecting on this word gentle automatically talked about us and our temperament. More so than anything else. Like, I mean, not that I expected gentle to mean something else, but I feel like, I don't know, when you hear the word gentle, I don't know if I automatically think about, like, the way I react or my temperament. I think I might think of, like, the way people handle things, or maybe, like, handling things with care or something like that. That's maybe what I thought of when I thought of the word gentle. So I just thought it was very interesting that it went straight to our character. Gentle character is what the definitions were saying. So, anywho. So then let's get into these verses, y'all. Matthew 16 and 29 says, 11 and 29 says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Again, I know we kind of talked about yesterday, taking on the weight that Christ put on us, or the yoke, or whatever the case is. For whatever reason, the narrative is that, oh, living for Christ and all that stuff is too hard. I don't want to do that. It's X, Y, and Z. But on the flip side, again, I told you all over this whole journey with the juice and whatnot, what I'm learning is everything is the complete opposite of whatever the world is telling us. The Bible tells us the complete opposite of whatever the world is telling us to do. So if the world is telling us that, oh, trying to live for Christ and all that stuff is too hard, X, Y, and Z, and then the Bible is telling us that when you do this is the easier or the lesser of the heaviness of between the two. I guess, I mean, I don't know if it takes wisdom to understand that, or when you actually try. I think actually living in sin and will help you see. And I'm not pushing, I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying that we should. I think we all have sinned and fallen short. So we all should know that living in sin, at least for me, I'll just keep talking about me. All right. Those times when I was living in sin, or like, struggling on my own, trying to figure out life and all these things on my own, it was heavy. Again, I tell you guys, I think maybe that I might have been in borderline depression and some things. Yeah, I know even the lady I talked to yesterday was talking about like PTSD and things of that nature. Like, yeah, like my life was, again, not to say constant turmoil, but constant turmoil in my mind. I will say probably that, like constantly mental battles and turmoil and all this type of stuff. But then on the flip side, I'm living my life now and trying to, I guess lean and depend on the Lord for direction and everything like that. And I'm at peace. I'm at peace with wherever things go. I'm in peace in the middle of my situations, because we know situations are still going to come, and persecution comes in many forms and all this type of stuff, right? And you're still going to have to deal with the issues of life. But I guess I'm looking at it all differently now. Like, I'm not necessarily bothered by my issues of life. And I guess they say, like the Bible says, I count it all joy as I go through my fiery trials. And I think, again, that just goes back to, again, leaning and depending on the Lord and taking his yoke upon my life versus my own. But anywho, let's keep going. So then we got Titus 3 and 2. And it says, to speak evil of no one, to avoid quarreling, to be gentle, and to show perfect courtesy toward all people. Listen, don't let me do y'all how I did the kids on Sunday. I was like, no, it's just for me. And then I had to get them to say, no, it's for everybody. I said, no, but it's just for you. No, it's for everybody. No, it's for da-da-da. Yes, I mean, for all people, y'all. We need to be doing this across the board and towards everybody. I know it's not the easiest thing, right? Because again, we we take that eye for an eye, right? We take that, oh, you did to me, I'm gonna do back to you. But really, we're supposed to be doing the opposite, doing to others regardless of what they do to you. And I know that don't sound good. That's pulp. We don't like that. But I mean, I'm just telling y'all what Bible say, first of all, and then second of all, yeah, I mean, I think again, it's a heart and mind change when you take on again the mind of Christ. He's telling us earlier. He said that he's gentle, lowly of heart, and that we will find rest in doing it, right? And then it's speaking here in this next verse talking about don't speak evil of no one, avoid quarreling, be gentle. Show perfect courtesy, and then not just towards the people you like. Show perfect courtesy towards everybody. And I think that, again, the more that we do that as individuals, the more that we'll see life be different. Maybe the world will look a little differently. Now, I mean, I guess maybe it's wishful thinking to think that, oh, if everybody just do it, da-da-da. I mean, I think there's always going to be some issues of life, especially, again, because we're all here, and we've all sinned and all this type of stuff, right? Until the Lord comes back, X, Y, and Z. I mean, nothing's going to be quote-unquote perfect or whatever. But still, I think we all should be more intentional about trying, right, to be more like Christ and do these things. Anyway, more verses. James 3:17, it says, but the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. I really don't have nothing to add to that, y'all. I mean, this is what it looks like. What I'm receiving here is that this is the wisdom from above. Like, this is how God treats us, and this is how he wants us to treat one another. Do we do that? No. We can see all around us that we don't do it. But those that do, I believe that they are living at peace, and living, what does that verse say earlier? Finding rest for their souls and things of that nature, even in the midst of adversity. So, I mean, if we want more wisdom and to be open to reason and all these different things, I mean, I think we have to seek after the Lord for his wisdom and ask him to help us at the end of the day. Like, Lord, help me to be more like you. Help me to treat everybody the way that I would want to be treated. Another conversation me and my husband was having, I don't know if it was last week, but again, one of them days that we was talking, he said he had... I think it might have been over the weekend, because he's like, I just heard about some type of incident that happened at an event, and he's just like, why can't we just, not just say agree to disagree, but like, in a lack of a better way to say it, exactly the way he said it, he pretty much was like, why can't we just agree to disagree, or why can't we just, either apologize if we're wrong, or all these different type of things. Like, why can't we just instead of just automatically either pulling out a gun if you're mad and all these different things, or handling things in such a rash, harsh way, like, why can't we just be like, either, and I don't know the answer to the question of why we can't. I think we can. I think the Lord wants us to, and I think that we're capable of it. I just think that we put ourselves above God and above others, when the word tells us to do the complete opposite. God, others, and then ourselves. I know people might not like that, and I'm not saying anything about like not making sure you're good to be able to pour out to others and things like that. I'm not saying put people over yourself so much so where you have nothing to give. I believe there's balance, but I do believe if you think of people more important than yourself, that's a perspective, or that's the God perspective that he wants us to have. But anywho, I was going to give another example about me. Like, even me this morning, like, I'm putting y'all above myself, right, to record this. Because I could have just been selfishly, right, throughout this whole journey, been like, studying and getting all these revelations for myself and had it just for me and never shared it. And I don't know what that would have done, but I could have, but, I put y'all above myself, right, to get up and share this. And I hope that it encourages and inspires the next person. So, I don't know, I'm just trying to be an example, or I'm trying to share examples here of what it could look like. And it's not like even just, how can I say, I hope that what my example shows is that it's not some big, huge thing that you have to do. It's just like, I guess, being intentional, right? And making a choice to be like, you know what? Instead of me doing this, let me do this. Or how can I put someone or show someone that they are of value about myself, or whatever the case is. Being gentle, being kind, all those different things. Humbling ourselves in those situations where you could be absolutely right about whatever it is. I feel like this is a phrase that my mom, I won't say that it's Bibles, but I will say that it's probably like a quote that my mom has said like over the years, like, giving up your rights for someone else's wrongs and things like that. Every now and then, you might just need to do that just to keep the peace or whatever. It's not about being like, ooh, well, but I'm right though, da 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 da. Like, but you can still say you're right in a gentle way as well. Like, you don't have to be harsh and all this different type of stuff. So, just things to think about, y'all. These are just some things to think about. I have another verse here, or a couple of verses. It's Colossians 3:12 and 13. It says, put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. I say this all the time, but here it is again, y'all. I feel like we always forget the grace and mercy that we receive. We appreciate it because we're like, oh yes, grace mercy for me. But then we don't want to extend it. I don't know why we're like that, but this is what we should do. And another thing that stood out to me this morning, and I believe the prayer meditation was talking about it as well. It was talking about this word meekness and whatnot. Like, instead of thinking of it as a negative thing, it's not being meek or humble or gentle. Those things aren't negative. It's not a situation of like, oh, but now people do take advantage of people like that, and I'm not making light of that as well. Like, that it is true. People do take advantage of people. But the thing is, there's balance. Like, we have to have balance. Like, we have to, give truth and love. We have to be able to, stand up for ourselves and all these different type of things. But you can do so in a, meek, humble, gentle way. And so being meek doesn't necessarily mean being weak. And I think that we look at it that way. So just more things to think about, y'all. I mean, there's plenty of verses in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. So much so that I just I put a few down, and then I said, you know what, y'all just go to openbible.info and look up meekness. If we need to just go deeper about this, get more wisdom about this, ask the Lord how we can do this more, because again, we could all be more gentle, right? Then I hope that you guys check out the Go Deeper section, because that's the juice, y'all. That is the juice this morning. Now, the Bible verse of today is Matthew 6:33, and it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. It's the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Are you engaged, married, separated? Friends, don't give up. Let no man separate what God has joined together, not even you. Transform your marriage and your idea of marriage today with Marriage Reignited. This program is a insightful look into marriage and what are the true needs of his and her. You guys can get a discount when you use Miracle Video or Miracle Combo. Miracle Video will get you $5 off of the video, and Miracle Combo will give you $10 off of the video and book. Check out marriagereignited.com for more information. That's MARRAGENITED.com. And again, that's Miracle Video, MIRACLE video, or Miracle Combo, MIRACLECOMBO.